Hi guys, how you going? Campbell here from Autodidactic Channel. Hope you're all having a marvellous day. And this is Placa España, or Plaza de España. Oh, sorry, España. It's in Barcelona. And this was actually pointed out to me by Marlena, thank you, in one of the comments, and she said there was lots of Antiquatech around here as well. And just looking at this building, you can see there is quite a bit of Antiquatech. Look at these balls everywhere, all up the top here. And this place is pretty spectacular. This is literally it just looks like untouched Tartaria, this whole sort of area. It's the center of a star city, and I'll show you a bit more of it. So this isn't the best contrast, but you can see there's just Antiquatech and these balls everywhere, domes on top, spires, you know, the usual shapes, and just everywhere, like the whole thing. They haven't come in and ripped it off this. Look, all out here. Every single post, we've got doubles up here. Spires going everywhere. The old world lamps that we see everywhere. And of course all these lamps, you know, where's the wiring? They go straight into rock and into walls and into pillars and things, but there's never any wiring. So these can't have been retrofitted. You know, they can't have been gas and then retrofitted as electric, because look how they're all placed, and they're all like this. You see them on bridges and things and on walls. Yeah, so that story doesn't make a lot of sense either. But this is, yeah, Plaza España. And also look at this, porcelain. And look at the top of that, with the little bit there, the little plug. I don't know, the top reminds me a little bit of the bollards that Martin was talking about. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, so yeah, let's jump into this and have a look at Plaza España. Alright, so here we are, Plaza España, and as you can see, look at this building. I mean, it's just, this is what is normally called a Capitol building or a Parliament building. I believe this is the National Museum now, and I've got some shots from inside, but just look at this Antiquatech all the way across, domes, everything in perfect symmetry, even these twin towers at the back. Got one little one, that must be way out the back, but just, you know, everything, you know, as we're used to seeing it, just all old world, done in such quality, you know, obviously for specific reasons. And most of this has been knocked over, but here is basically, yeah, like I said, the full sort of city, the full center bit of a star city is still sitting here in Barcelona. We'll have a look inside this a bit later, but look at this with the Moorish brickwork as well. See around the windows, that very Moorish shape, how it comes up and then has like a circle bit. And this brickwork is yeah, pretty much always associated with that shape. So that's a very Moorish looking building. And then we get this, and of course this is water. So this is a big fountain, and just covered in statues. You know, why were the fountains so ornate? Here's someone pouring out some water. Looks like a little family. We've got the pillars. And then up the top here, are they lights? Not sure what they are. They look like they're lights of some kind. Metal, so they've been retrofitted. And then we have these statues, ladies, and these big, well, what is that? A big you know, like dish that you fill with water that gives a reflection. Witches also use things like cauldrons that are full of water, reflection, water. Now, all this is obviously symbolic. I mean, look at this stuff. Here's that picture we saw at the start, and this is, I mean, look at this. It's, you know, got this perfect man-made canal here with someone going for a row. You know, the perfect old world stone bridges that we see everywhere. And this building, I mean, isn't that just magnificent? Just every little detail is perfect. And like I said, this one they've left, by the looks of it, it looks pretty intact as far as all the components and Antiquatech and stuff. This is inside that building, so you can see how tall it is. And notice up here too, this is skylights. So what happened to the original roof here? And I've mentioned it before, a lot of these buildings seem to have been re-roofed. Like they were found, you know, a bit decrepit, and they've had to re-roof them and sort of renovate them. And of course, full of all these stolen statues and bits of art that they have found around and claimed as their own. Look at these walls. Is that wood? That's pretty cool. A lot of work. It looks like they've covered something up there. And we have this old pillar just standing here by itself. Just why not? A remnant from the past. Here, this is the same area, so this is that same big building, and you can see how high that is up off the ground, so lots buried under there, as we're starting to see everywhere. Look at the size, look how many people are here, and look at the size of this thing. Of course, water again. This actually looks like the bottom of a star fort wall, but I wanted to look at these. This Antiquatech, same thing. See the balls? Balls on these end bits, just everywhere. And the arches below. So these shapes, this geometry has got something to do with it as well. This shape is like a thin version, or I guess even more oriental version of, you know, the domes that we see. That look like, they sort of look like capacitors or something. They look like this, but with a few more slits in them. So this is I mean, clearly that's some kind of energy device, and again we get this symmetry. It's a bit hard to see, but you can see on this one, so we've got in the middle, we've got the tallest spire, and then on the outside, on each corner, there's one of these little spires, so there's one there too. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on each corner. Now we see this on the tops of buildings, when you see domes in the centre. Oh, there's one of those bits I was talking about that looks like these. Yeah, you get a big dome in the centre, and then you get 4 smaller domes around the outside. Around the outside, around the outside. Chick-chick-a-boo! So, it seems to be a common design, and what it is, if you think about it, Mount Meru in the centre, and we always hear about the 4 corners of the earth and the 4 angels on the corners and the 4 winds and all this kind of stuff. So it looks like that's a representation of our realm, which would kind of make sense, because, you know, Tesla said, you know, whoever Tesla is or was, said the earth is a battery, and you get free energy from it, so why not make a smaller scale of it? Kind of makes sense. Fractals, all that kind of stuff. Here, yes, look at that. There's just water everywhere, as there were in all these old world star cities. Pretty big steps, aren't they? Very long. I mean, I don't know if they've been retrofitted. They look pretty good, don't they? They look like they've been there for a while, but yeah, look at this. Just everything is just so purposeful. Is that the word? Purposeful. This is inside that building, and yeah, nice dome. And so these were functioning as machines, as far as I can tell. These were machines. And they've just been changed, and anything that is so, you know, sort of grand and magnificent that they can't explain, they just say, well, it's the glory of God. You know, people will do anything to praise God and the glory of God. And in fact, if you just get peasants, give them all a stick and every second one a pitchfork, they can build this with enough time and enough faith in the glory of God. I mean, that's the story we're given. You know, it's literally, they can achieve anything given enough time and manpower. No, that's just crap. This is tech that has been refitted as to be made a religious and a religious construct, and also art. You know, they turn it into art, an expression of the glory of God, and it's always linked to religion and God and something that you can't quite explain, isn't it? And even just look down here on the side of this, look at that artwork there. But I mean, just it's like everything. Look at this corner here. Look how many layers there are in that. On the corner, I mean, why? There's no reason for that aesthetically. Sure, it looks good, but I mean, that's just way over the top aesthetically for the amount of work you need to put in. So that's got a function. And this, of course, obviously religious, but blue. You know, kind of made to look like the sky, blue, clouds maybe, but is it? Water's above, water's below maybe. Are they trying to show us something? Are these people flying or are they swimming? Who knows? Again, just to show you a bit of the tech, this is just like a shot from the back street, you know, one of the back streets in this place. And as you can see, it's just old world as. We've got a Moorish arch here. These are slightly Moorish. You can see that point in the middle, completely different to these, which are completely round. And these look a little bit low. And of course we have the Phoenician facades here. And yeah, up here, ball, all the way around. Up here as well, balls. And this tower. These towers everywhere. Here's another one. What are these towers? There's, I think, Conspiracies Are Us and UAP may have both looked into the water towers. There's a few, you know, hanging around, just random ones, and they say, oh, it's a water tower, and they're these ornate towers. So it actually looks like they were water towers. They were holding water pressure. So is this something to do with the whole system and the cooling mechanism, maybe? You know, these holes, fins, vents for getting air in to cool the water, maybe? Is it a pressure thing? Because these things are just everywhere, random, and you see them on castles, on the sides of buildings, and they're normally it's just one, just stuck on the side of a building. So what are they for? I'm thinking they've got something to do with water and water pressure, because they're always solid with no windows, and then they have the windows at the top. So, and then look how huge that thing is too. It's like, you know, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6 stories tall. So yeah, what is it? And here we have, of course, the twin towers of Boaz and Jakim, with pyramids on the top, no less. And these actually do look like tech, don't they? And look at the size of them. Look at these people. I mean, these guys don't even come up to here. So they're quite large. We've got 4 random pillars here, and then we have the wall. Okay, so we've got the wall around this main, I don't know, what was that, a power station, something? Definitely had some kind of function. They all seem to have different functions, but then these big ones, they almost look like they're a meld of different buildings, and like it's a sort of a center like, you know, we're using them for Parliament buildings now, but if you can think of that with no leaders, so everyone just got to go and use them, and, you know, you could have healing stations. I think the whole thing would be an energy and healing station, but then also with different functions that you can just go and use. So I don't think these were ever houses. I don't know if any of these buildings were ever meant for us to live in, for sure, because we seem to be a lot more at home in nature, not in the city. And even as magnificent as these cities were and set out, humans still just, you know, tend to be less stressed and more peaceful, more relaxed in the bush, in the country, in nature. But yeah, so here we have this structure, and you can't see it all, but you can sort of see this bit of wall here. This is the same thing that we see, you know, that half wall, sort of half moon, you know, half circle crescent shape, and it's in the Vatican and everywhere. I'll show you a bit more of that later. Here's a dome popping up, and as I said, 4 random pillars. So what used to be attached to those? But this place is just like, look at it. It's just, this is old world. Now this, you know, see what's old world and what's added. So this is, you know, as Martin would say, very Phoenician. And it definitely does have that look. And all that facade, you know, with gargoyles and all these creepy stuff, it's not human. It's not the kind of stuff that, you know, happy, harmonious humans, or should I even say human men and women, would go and build. You know, it's a bit weird. This one we had a look at before, you know, it's got the, like the, what do we call that, cauldron pot thing on top, and this building, and I'll show you the inside of that dome as well. But just here, huge statues on these massive, you know, pillar type things, very looking low in the ground. And, you know, this, you know, it's almost like Colosseum-like, isn't it? Big round. What was that originally used for, I wonder? Here's just another shot, slightly different shot. But here again, see the balls all along the edge here. Balls, 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 and they've even got balls. Now this, I mean, this looks, I don't know if it's been covered up or if it's a retrofit, but it's clearly, if it's not a part of a machine, or if it's not, you know, the old world, whoops, it's made to look like that, as we see with a lot of things, you know, that they don't know how to work things, but they like the look of them, so they just, you know, remake them. And here's more of these ceramic things that we saw before, and underneath the tile work, which is very Moorish, a Moorish tradition. So, but this isn't really, wow, that's quite cool. It's not really in the normal sort of Moorish tradition we see. Moorish tends to be a lot more geometric. Interesting little bits of metal sticking out here. And here, is that a little bit of metal? Yeah, see? Maybe they're tyres for boats or something. Got a little symbol there. That's almost like a wheel. Is that chains? But look, just look at this. These, you know, these look like the old world, well, not even old world, but, you know, the big generators we see, the big electric generators with these porcelain capacitors and things in them. That's what that looks like to me. That looks very, very techy. And again, just complete symmetry and just, yeah, just built out. I mean, imagine what this place was like. Like I said, I don't think people actually lived here, but I think, you know, people used these places for, you know, for healing, for coming together, for energy, for, you know, manufacturing maybe. I mean, who knows, maybe we did, maybe there was just a lot more nature around, because you can see up around there, you know, there is a lot of nature there, but obviously even those trees don't look that big, do they, for the size of that building. And here's that semicircle I mentioned. You can kind of see it there. And this is the palisade. I'll show this later. So this is the building. We have the water feature, and then we have this boulevard, the twin towers, and the shape, another water feature, and then it keeps going. It's the exact same like that keystone shape that we see, you know, in the geometry. It's just everywhere. It's like it's a flow of energy, you know, down through here. Yeah, I'm not sure how it all works yet. Here's those pillars again. This is, we're looking from here. So as you can see, these are the pillars, so we're looking back the other way. And you can see, yeah, it's all been built in. But this would have been a big, you know, boulevard, pedestrian way. The same as what you get at the Great Pyramid. They have it as well. These big, you know, sort of wide pavilion walkway things. It's building up on the top here. Okay, so this is a map of this area, and as you can see, star forts everywhere. So here we have a big star fort, and we've got the citadel in the middle there. This is an arm, you can see this is part of the fort coming out, and here we have another big walled star city, and on the outside all the farmlands and everything, and you can see how big these walls are just by the way they're drawn. And then we have a few towns and things around. So this is, I'm not actually sure what year this one is, probably 1700s. And here's another one showing the same picture, that this was a big star city and walled off, and we have the citadel up here on the hill. And this is one of the clock towers I wanted to show you, because look at this. Look at that. Is that a bell? Oh, okay, that's a bell. But, oh, look, they look like they're sort of stylized flowers, maybe. Look at this, all opened up and vented, and a huge spire on the top with an antenna. Circular one, into threes. Oh, but look at that. That's quite an antenna, and we've got a bell attached to it, which is interesting. Was this collecting energy that was somehow vibrating this bell and creating tones and resonance? Is that what bells were? Did they not, you know, originally did they not have the, what's that bit, the hammer bit inside that makes them ring? Maybe they were just the bell, you know, like the end of a trumpet, like a funnel to, like a speaker to amplify sound. Who knows? And this is inside that dome, and you can see the size of this building. Pillars, everything, just the same stuff. But look, this is a pipe organ. And it's a nice big old one. Again, it looks like it hasn't been touched. It looks like it's sitting there in full working condition. And you can just imagine what this place would be like with that playing in this dome. Imagine what the sound would do. So this is built as like an acoustic resonance chamber, basically. So is that for healing? You know, most of us are saying it's probably for healing, for balancing out the frequencies and things. But there you go. And yeah, I've done an interview, the second interview with Callum finally on pyramids, and we've got a bit about resonance and how that may work in that interview as well. And I'll just show you one pic I've got here of old world. So here we go. I don't know what that says. But here we have, the Phoenician, what are they, mirrors? You see like brooches. They used to have brooches, with that kind of shape and a picture in them, a face. And of course we have the statues, which we have everywhere, and an obelisk. This guy's got no legs. He's just popping out of the side of that obelisk. And of course these arches, arcs, we see them everywhere. That's just like the Arc de Triomphe. But this is in Spain. And it's actually looking, the facade looks pretty Moorish, doesn't it? Different design. And this one's got domes on the top. So did they all have domes? Were they charged? Again, Martin theorizes that they were sort of charging and decharging station for technical weapons, old tech that were, sort of weapons for soldiers, all this sort of, armor and metallic stuff, lances, swords, shields. They all look very techy. So is this some kind of on-off switch? Alright, so I just thought we'd have a bit of a look on the Googles of Earth. And here we are at Plaza de España. Plaza España. And yeah, look at this. Just got all the usual features. Got red brick everywhere. This, I don't think this is a golf course, but obviously something's been covered up there. We have all this geometry in the ground. It looks like a hill, so there's probably stuff under there. And here we have one of the big, that's the big dome that we had a look inside. And this is, see this, so this is what I was trying to point out, the half circle like you see in the Vatican. They've got a big one with pillars in it. This, I would say, used to be water. It looks like it's been filled in. But look at this shape. That's the shape we see in cathedrals, that sort of three-leaf clover shape. That's very interesting design, that one, isn't it? So this is, where do we have the building? So I'm going to need to turn around here. Okay, so this is, yeah, so we have the arch here, or the half circle, another one here, so it's actually a bigger circle. We have like the promenade bit here, another water feature, and then we go up the steps, and this is that huge building, and look at the dome on the back of it. And then we just have these strange, this is such a star city. Look at the shape of these buildings. They're just all on these funny angles. And that's a dead giveaway of a star city. These I find interesting. I mean, look at all these squares. You don't see this that often. I have seen it before. On the side here you can see they sort of differ to fit the pattern. But these are actually old world. I thought they might have been sort of retrofitted and like new construction. But when you come down here, oh, see, now this doesn't look like old world now that I come. Well, you can see up there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that they are old world buildings by the looks of it. And I was looking before. I don't think I could see any mud flooders though. But yeah, I find them interesting because they're basically, they've all got these courtyards in the middle of them, but it looks like they've all been built in. Some have buildings, some have basketball courts and car parks. But pretty interesting. And then on the outside you get all this stuff. All the usual suspects, all this geometry that we see everywhere. I mean, it's just everywhere in this place. It's just, and again, there must be a lot of covered up stuff. And of course there are star forts. Now we saw that old map. Okay, and we had the star fort down here. And we had the citadel. So I'm just going to turn this around again. Okay, so we have, this is the star citadel, and in that map it was up on the hill. And there it is. Star Citadel. All the usual features. This is just a square. Well, it's a square on the inside, but you can see we've got the rocket ship shape in the middle. And it looks like this is, yeah, buried. It's on a hill. We can kind of see a few lines and things down here, a few funny shapes. So there's more to that, but that's the Star Citadel that we saw in that old map. And remember, we saw that the Star Fort came out as well. The Star City came out to the water. So that's part of the old original construction, I think. This bit looks to be retrofitted. And the walled city, I wonder what that looks like. See, look at that. Look, that looks like a 70s building there, doesn't it? I wonder if that's just a retrofit. Because look at this building next to it. That looks like full old world Tartarian. Even this building behind it does. So maybe that's just one new building. Because look at that. And again, look, this has still got all the Antiquatech on it. Bollards everywhere. And this is that building. What is it? An old, some kind of, you know, train station or transport station. Pretty cool. Okay, here we go. And that's that big dome thing. So, wow, I wonder what this was. Well, but again, they love to do this, don't they? Just put this sort of crappy New World stuff out the front to cover, you know, this building in the back. And all you can see is this facaded, you know, grey. But look at what's behind there. And again, covered in Antiquatech. Now this one's still got the metal railing, the fencing stuff we see. It's got its spire. It's got everything. So this place is very cool. I mean, it's look at it. It's literally hasn't been touched almost. This you can see. This is the old city. Now, is this? I'm pretty sure this is the walled part. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. And again, these are just everywhere. And as you can see, there's a bigger circle there. We've got this shape here, so it's probably been part of the star at one point. And these circles that we see a lot of. I'm not sure what they are. Gosh, they look Antiquatech-y too, don't they? Look at that. And look at the size. Look at the people. They look like ants. Alright, so you can see the sort of outline shape here of the original city. I've had a look, can't find the walls, but in the map, that's where it is. In that map we had a look at, and we had this bit, and this was the citadel up on the hill. The Star City was down here. And you can clearly see the way that's built. I mean, just look at the shape of some of these buildings. They're just built to these funny shaped roads. For what reason, we're not sure. Probably something to do with transference. Oh my gosh, is that a cathedral? Alright, let's just go have a quick look at this. I mean, this place is just ridiculous. Oh my god, look at that. That's what I was talking about when I said Moorish. Moorish stuff is a lot more, you know, geometrical in design. So this kind of stuff. But look at this, just fully built out. And of course we have the street lights again, which we see everywhere. Bollards, half in the ground. And yeah, look at this baby. I'll see if I can get back a bit. Oh, there you go. See, that's very Moorish. There seems to be tiles, a lot of it as well. I'm not sure if they're porcelain or clay. and these sort of shapes. And this we see a lot too. It's almost like, see how it comes out in layers? It's almost like a speaker, isn't it? To sort of project sound out. This place is just ridiculous. Look at the bollards everywhere, half in the ground. I mean, oh my gosh, look at. So there you go. This is old world. Again, you know, were these houses? Who knows? That's one big cathedral. Look at that. Alright, and you can just, again, we've got another big boulevard here. You know, the same setup, the same designs are just everywhere. So it looks like something may have been taken out there. It's probably where they had an arch or something. We have the big, or is that the arch there? Maybe that's the arch there still. Let us have a look. So here we are, got some buskers, and yep, there we go. Look at the red brick as well, look at that. Look at that pillar. Oops. Can you see that? Is that made of brick? I mean, just look at the work gone into this, and and just this arch itself would be a lot of bricks. And a lot of work, obviously. Let's just have... Oh, look at all the work in here. Wow. Look at that, and look at this Antiquatech at the top with the balls. We've got the angels with the wings open. So yeah, what's this? Is this something to do with charging? Looks like these are even weapons. Up here, maybe. Can't see, I can't really zoom in, it just wants to change my perspective. I don't know, might be, might not, but just look at this, just Antiquatech everywhere, like this. It looks like the sort of facade, the retrofitted facade across here. And this is the original old world red brick structure. Imagine laying all those bricks, how did they do it? Like, the amount of bricklaying that's gone on is just ridiculous. I mean, look at that thing. And look at the size of it. You can see the people here. So the people are maybe this tall. Yeah, so this place is literally an old world Star City. And here we have Boulevard coming up. What have we got there? Looks like that was a water feature, maybe it's a statue. More buildings here, heaps and heaps of geometry and geomancy. More water, and up to the big circle at the end. So with this, it looks like there may have been something there. Look at all these circles around. Water features, it looks like it's a covered up hill. Ah, okay. Look at that. That's the old wall. Is it going to let us look? I will go here. No, they smashed that wall. What was I looking at? This. See this bit of wall here? And that's also got a bit of a look to it. So is that looks like it might be part of the original structure. Look at this. So what are these shapes? They're always the same. Got your 2 or 4 entrances, you've got your circle, always divided up. Maybe it's something to do with the shape of the realm, who knows. Look at this. What is that? Gonna have to have a look. Just a big water feature. Oh wow, look at that thing. letting me zoom. Oh, here we go with that. No, it's not letting me zoom in. But you can see that this is a water feature. And look what's up on top here. Looks like we've got gold horses, gold trim everywhere, and a full temple looking energy device. I wonder what the word temple originally meant. And we also see these everywhere, you know, that, I don't know what they're called, you know, they're like plant pots, but they're not for plants. You often see them with plants in them, but they have no drainage holes, which means they're not plant pots. They're for holding water, so it's like a reflection, you know, mirror, or a cauldron maybe. Wow, I could literally be here for hours, guys. So this is, if you just put in Plaza de España into the Google Earths, yeah, you'll find it. If I work out how to get the link, I'm still working out how to do that. I'll put it in the description. But if not, just come and have a look at yourself. I mean, just look at this from above. Look at, I mean, you can just see this is old world. You can see the old city, how it's completely different to this. But this is still, seems to be old world. Because in that map we saw, we sort of had the Star City here, the Citadel here, and this was all farmland. So, you know, when was this built? It looks old world, but looking at that map, we're looking at this being, you know, this stuff here. This was all farmland 300 or 400 years ago. You know, so then we hit this problem of who built this and how did they have the tech. And you can see how built out it is. It's not like you could come along and, you know, build a house here, and then later someone builds a house here, and later someone builds a house here. This all has to be built as one structure. And as you can see, this has been completely planned out to be perfect. I mean, even with the roads, look at the roads coming down here, and they literally cut the buildings to fit in with the roads. So when was all this stuff built is the question, because we have this whole timeline thing. You know, you look at these old cities and see this all looks, you know, this could be new. Yeah, that looks new. But then you get that, and that definitely looks like an old world building. You know, you've got spires up here and stuff, and, you know, it all looks old world. So yeah, it's like when we see these pictures, you know, of Chicago and stuff, and they get completely destroyed. Like, we've got pictures of them in the past built out, and then we have pictures of it completely destroyed. And then now we still have all these old world buildings through it. So what's really going on? There's something's not adding up as far as the timeline and the construction. So I'm just gonna, let's have a look here. I'll just grab that map. Okay, so this is the map, and this is the Citadel that we saw up on that hill bit, and then this is that old world city, you know, with all the, you know, higgledy-piggledy type housing, you know, the funny shaped streets, and all the square stuff was out here. And as you can see, this is all, you know, pastoral land and farms. This isn't, and orchards and things. This isn't built out city. We have these bits which might be, you know, little outposts. There's another one here, like little, but they're not towns. They might be tiny, you know, a few houses. But see that? It's just all farmland. And we have the Citadel here and the Star City here. So this is it today. So this is the Star City. Okay, so this is the Star City, the Citadel there. And this is the city here. And this is the bit that comes out. So, can you see that? Okay, this is the bit that comes out. This is the Star City, and this is the Citadel. Should get my words right, shouldn't I? So yeah, Citadel, Star City here, and this is the bit that comes out. But then we have all these buildings, and even up here. See, this looks very old world, this stuff. Just the way that, see the angles on the roads, that's what the giveaway normally is. And as you'll see, this is all old world buildings. Wow, we're right in the streets here. But see, you've got all the arches, everything, the same stuff. The bollards going up the street, got the paving. And this is quite a thin street. And now these actually, you know, these do look like that maybe they were made for housing, but they definitely, I mean, I don't know, what's going on? Is that, how old are they? But again, we have the thing, if these were built, see how close they are to each other? You'd pretty much have to build these out at the same time, you know, at least, you know, pretty close to each other. It would have to be designed. It would be a lot easier to build these in one go if they're next to each other with common walls. But then if, and I haven't seen it yet, but once you hit a mud flutter, then that changes the whole story, because now you're going underground and doing foundations, and that makes it pretty much impossible to build these buildings side by side. You know, if you're going down, because you're just going to destroy the foundations of your neighbour. But see, old world arches at all, and this brickwork, it all looks skinnier bollards, so it all looks kind of old worldy. But then again, like I said, when we look at that map, this bit here wasn't there. Well, we've changed around, so this is Citadel, and there was the Star City. So none of this was supposed to be here. So I don't know what's going on. There's something strange with, let's see if we get a date here. No. But, you know, the look of that drawing, the way it's drawn, probably around the 1600s. And this is what it looks like today. So what is really going on here? There's just, timelines don't seem to match up. Like, and obviously the tech thing is a big thing. How did they get the tech to build all this? If all we had was this and this, where did all this come from? And like I said, this looks, a lot of this looks, you know, old worldy, just the angles on the streets and things. Like that bit there. But in that map, it was all farmland. So questions. Alright, so there we go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for spending some time with me. Please give me a like, a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this content if you do like the channel. And of course, autodidactic means to be self-educated, and we need to be self-educated today more than ever, because as you can see, what we're being told is just complete fakery at this point. So thanks for spending some time with me. Thanks again to everyone who supports this channel in any way they can. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all on the next upload. Bye for now.